Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. Welcome to a breaking cruise news live stream. Super impromptu. I don't even know if anybody knows about this thing, but hope everybody is doing well today. Let's give it a few minutes for everybody to get in, and we will recap some big breaking cruise news stories today. Let me tell the Blue Crew that I'm on. I don't even think they knew. Hold on. Wow, what an afternoon. Let me tell them. Impromptu live in session. Live in sesh. Yeah, so we've got, there's Ellen. What's up, Ellen? Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, so let me give it a couple minutes before I drop the latest cruise news. I do have breaking cruise news coming from Royal Caribbean regarding their mask policy. You've probably seen the video talking about Norwegian Cruise Line's update for their mask policy. I didn't even talk about the panorama yesterday in Cabo San Lucas. I've got information for that. So I thought maybe we'll just do a little impromptu live. How about that? You like this Buc-ee's mug? Little hot Java. What is going on, Chip Merkley? Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't even have my right keyboard over here. Thank you, Chip Merkley, for the super chat. Karen Powers, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for keeping you guys, everybody saying updated. Ooh, it sounds like the volume's pretty loud. Let me back that down a little bit. All right, thanks for super chats, everybody. Maybe. Where's Harry Larry? Oh, he's coming. All right. Let me put this keyboard over here. Make sure you guys hit the like button when you're coming in. That'll let us know, or it'll help YouTube put it out to everybody else. And of course, we're here on Lido Loca. Make sure you follow us on all the socials, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's kick it off. So we'll go over here and we'll take a look at this. Again, I just did the story about Norwegian Cruise Line asking people on some future cruises even starting tomorrow, to mask up. I'm not sure if it's going to be for all cruise ships. I don't know if it's going to be forever. I don't know if it's just this week. But you see the cruise line scrambling, right? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? So the CDC and the cruise lines, they're working in tandem, right? The one thing they do give us is that color-coded website where we can see which cruise ships have COVID on board. And, they're reporting on a daily basis. The cruise ships, part of their requirement to report on a daily basis to the CDC. And so they're working together. And so I don't know if any of this masking is anything to do with the CDC, anything like that. We don't have that kind of visibility into it. But what we do know is that COVID cases are going up all over the world. And so some of this might be in response to this. We see a tightening up of the protocols. And we just got this email over on the travel side to Lido Loca from Royal Caribbean. Thank you, Jack Southwick, for the super chat. And let me read this email. So this is updated mask protocols for departure through January the 5th. So they put a little time window on it, January the 5th, so that's a couple weeks. Dear valued travel partners, with the recent uptick of COVID-19 in the world and the added Omicron variant concerns. Sorry, I just got lost in a meme. Does anybody know who? Never mind. Let me start over. I just woke up. With the recent uptick of COVID-19 in the world and the added Omicron variant concerns, we feel it prudent to temporarily tighten our onboard health protocols to require masks indoors at all times unless actively eating or drinking. This new update also applies to vaccinated areas and venues. We're sorry for the disappointment this may cause your clients, but hope you understand that health and safety has always come first here at Royal Caribbean. Despite the new requirement, we know that your clients will still have a great time on board. For full protocols, go to this link. So this is the email that we just got over on the travel side from Royal Caribbean. And the thing is, like, some people may be going, well, isn't Royal Caribbean, don't they require a mask everywhere on board? Anyways, that's basically true. But on Royal Caribbean, they do have vaccinated only areas, like the casino and the main theater, certain spots of the main theater, certain times, that kind of thing. When I was on the Odyssey, there were spots that I could go to and not wear a mask inside. No longer the case until January the 5th. I guess let me leave this email up for anybody that's coming in late. You can kind of see it there. No longer until January the 5th on Royal Caribbean, even if you're fully vaccinated. If you're in a fully vaccinated area, you still have to wear a mask indoors. This kind of mimics what we've seen from This mimics what we've seen from Norwegian, now requiring mask indoors. There was a zero mask policy on Norwegian, and now they have mask outside where you can't social distance. And I think I got an email from Celebrity too. Hold on, let me kick it over here and see what this email just said from Celebrity, just to make sure that there's never something missing here. All right, something I'd have to look into deeper there. Let me go back to the Royal email and get that up on the screen so you can't see any more of the email. And one thing I did not, well, let me grab some of these super chats. Thanks everybody for jumping in. Good to see the Blue Crew here. Kim Oakland, no message, just enjoying the cruise news. Thank you, Kim. I hope you guys like the live version of the cruise news. I'm going to repeat the cruise news a couple times so people coming in can see it on the front end, and then we'll do some question and answer. Lady Texan, thank you so much for the super chat. James Stewart, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all your hard work. My pleasure. I do love doing this. And Chef Roan, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for all your great cruise news information. Sorry, guys, if you're wondering what my challenge is, I got this laptop in front of my normal computer screen, and so I'm trying to look over that. Let's see. I haven't heard anything on Disney mask policies. And, okay. The other thing that we've talked about, or that we heard yesterday come out through the cruise news, is that the Carnival Panorama went to Cabo San Lucas yesterday, and when they got there, I believe it was Cabo, when they got there, there was a new policy in place. There were reported cases on board of the Panorama. So this is the thing. Again, a lot of this happens behind the scenes. There's a whole debate out there whether there should be more transparency to the public, but at least the officials get the numbers. So the cruise lines give numbers to the CDC. It sounds like the cruise lines, before they go to a port, I mean, this is what we can ascertain from the way these stories have played out. Once a cruise line, they're making their way to a cruise port, I'm sure they have to answer the question, hey man, you got some COVID on board? And the cruise line says, yeah, we got some COVID on board. And then the local authority decides whether that's enough or not enough or too much or whatever. And again, with everything blowing up, it sounds like yesterday in Cabo, they said, well, that sounds like too much. And now we got to get everybody tested before they can come ashore. And it's a tender port. That means you can't just walk off a gangway onto the dock. You have to get on a smaller boat to get over there. And the logistics for Carnival to get everybody tested who wanted to go ashore would have taken more time than the actual stop at Cabo. And so because of that change in testing protocol, they weren't able to go. So we see things shifting right now in the cruise space. The big thing, let's all cheerlead it real quick. Nothing's being canceled yet. So again, you know, the cruise industry has been doing this the whole time. They've taken a layered protocol approach, and some more, some less. But when things get challenging, we see more protocols layer in. But none of it has risen to the level of canceling cruises, which I think is a good sign. I've said a lot there. Let me get some coffee. All right, I'm going to close my laptop. I think we've covered that royal thing. Well, I'll read the email one more time. I don't know how long I've been on, but let's see who else is here. Karen Hill, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for keeping us as up to date as possible. Yeah, sometimes it's slow and sometimes it's fast and heavy. And Traveling Hawk, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me get Harry Larry to say some thank yous. Super chat. Let me share this one more time in case you are just joining us. What the title refers to is there has been a change in Royal Caribbean's masking policy. This email just came out a little while ago. Updated mask protocols for departures through January the 5th, 2022. Dear valued travel partners, with the recent uptick of COVID-19 in the world and the added Omicron variant concerns, we feel it prudent to temporarily tighten our onboard health protocols to require masks indoors at all times unless actively eating, drinking. This new update also applies to vaccinated areas and venues. That's the big change for Royal. So if you've cruised Royal at all and you're fully vaccinated, you know there's areas on the cruise ship where you can go and you can demask, or you don't have to wear a mask in the casino, for example. Now you will have to. Look, none of this is a big deal. I know there's some people that, again, I've said this before, mask is a hill that some people will die on, and mask is a hill that some people don't care about, right? And so I'm one of those people. Like, I was excited to go on the Norwegian cruise with no mask. I was fine with that protocol. I enjoyed it. I'm not ashamed to say that I enjoyed it. I trust in those guys in Norwegian and what they're doing with the CDC, that if they say I don't have to wear a mask on their cruise ship, I'm good with it. Now they say I do have to wear a mask. I'm actually good with that too. So I've gone on all these cruises. I've followed the protocol. I'm happy following the protocol, having a blast cruising. but it's not going to be for everybody. Again, there's going to be people that see, okay, mask requirement, I'm just not going to go on the cruise ship. There's still people with the vaccine requirement not going on the cruise ship. You know, the beautiful thing about it is cruising is an elective activity. It's like, you know, taking archery in college. Nobody's making you take archery to live your life. Same way nobody's making you cruise to live your life. So the cool thing is there's a lot of choice out there, but I'm willing to do all those things. And so the exciting thing for me is even though we're getting more layered protocols, cruising's not being canceled. All right, I'm gonna switch back over, close my laptop so I can read some of the chat. All right, what's going on? Let's say a big hello to the Blue Crew. Now, we'll kick over into question and answer. If you missed the breaking news, you got the Norwegian mask update. Hopefully you've seen that video. I've covered the Royal a couple times. We talked about the panorama in Cabo. It's all about seeing cases increase, cruise lines responding with more layered protocols. We don't know if they're being prompted to respond, if they're doing that because they believe that that's the thing to do, or if this is what they have to do to stay open with the CDC. None of that's known, so that would all be speculation. Who knows if anybody's putting pressure? I probably even shouldn't have said that. Whatever the is that we're seeing more layered protocols, and the cruise lines are putting out those layered protocols. All right. Shout out to the Blue Crew, keeping the room safe. Hey Girl, Ellen Huffnall, Slinky Ingle King, my man Joe Flanagan, my lovely wife, the Jenny B Show. What's going on? Scott McNeil and Tinkerbell is here. All right, I'm sliding to the bottom. If you have a question for me, type question in big capital letters, and I will do my best to answer your question. A big hello to everybody. Happy Friday. All right, what's going on, everybody? Impromptu live show. Is everybody doing good? Is this mask stuff? Let's have the conversation. Is this mask stuff freaking you guys out? Are you okay? Oh, here's a question from Megan Harder. Question, does this mean Royal may pull back after January the 5th? This is only for a few weeks then. So that Royal announcement is time bound to January the 5th. They'll either extend it or it'll end on January the 5th. So the other timeline that we have out there that hopefully doesn't change, the CDC has very adamantly said that they will step away from having an oversight in cruising on January the 15th, and that cruising can be self-regulated. This was before Omicron. This was before the latest spike. So who knows if that will change. Hopefully that will not change. I would like to see the cruise lines continue to push this on their own. Again, it's going to be a numbers game. At the end of the day, unfortunately, a lot of people are saying that Omicron, even though it's more infectious, that it's not resulting in severe COVID. Some people say this could be the path to the end because you have a dominant variant taking over, and the dominant variant's not the same kind of killer that the original virus or the Delta variant was. So we could have good days ahead, but right now the challenge that we have is you have these case counts going up all over the place, and eventually it just becomes a numbers game where resources get depleted. This is the concern. Whether it plays out that way or not, this is the concern. And again, the cruise lines are just throwing, being as cautious as possible. But yeah, to answer your question, the Royal deal right now ends on January the 5th. Let's see. Question, will you have a live show on Tuesday, December the 28th? That is a holiday in Canada for Boxing Day. Doug, I think we will. I mean, we'll be there to celebrate Boxing Day with you. If we're here at the house, we're definitely going to be doing a live show on the Tuesday. So, question, celebrity the same? I don't know, normally, but, actually, I'll take that back. Celebrity's been one of the unmasked cruise lines also. So, right now, if you book Celebrity, or at least, I don't know that it's changed, it's a mask-free experience. So, maybe they will mask up. I don't know. We'll have to see. What if you're on the ship on January the 5th? I never know how that's going to work out. Like, I don't know the particulars of that cruise line. So, if you got a concern, reach out to Royal and say, does this mean me or not? I think it says through. We'll have to look and see what the email said, but yeah. Stephanie M., thank you so much for the super chat. Oh man, have to get back to work. Have a wonderful day. Don't work too hard, Stephanie. We sure do appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Joseph Patton, thank you for the super chat. Alfred Cologne, thank you so much for the super chat. And I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Thank you guys for the super chat. Very kind. Live news. Live news. Look, I got a logo. I can't figure out how to make it stay up there all the time. Does it go away with... Yeah, it goes away with Harry Larry.
Super chat.
Logo. How about that? Let's see. Royal's going to remove the mask policy. Yeah, I don't have the email pulled up anymore, so I can't remember. Question: will we have to be tested coming back into the U.S.? Lucretia, that's not yet. I mean, that's always a concern, but right now there's no requirement for cruise ship passengers to get a test to return to the U.S. All right, I'm at the bottom. Question: have you seen the new Spider-Man movie yet? Winnie, I have not. Everybody's talking it up. I'm doing my best to avoid spoilers. We got some of our kids coming in for the holidays. Maybe they want to see the movie. I don't know, but my brother's going to be here in a few days, so if he hasn't seen it, we're definitely going to try to see it. Question: since they're adding more, do you think they will add 5 to 11-year-olds to be vaccinated? Question: more policies. So many of the cruise lines right now are so like if you want to go Norwegian, for example, the only way that you can get on Norwegian cruise line as a 5 to 11-year-old is to be vaccinated. So it's going to depend on a cruise line by cruise line. Like I think Royal, I don't think it's a have to, but I think if you want to have the same experience as a vaccinated passenger, then your 5 to 11-year-old, if they're vaccinated, they're considered vaccinated that way. If not, there's a whole different kind of testing regimen. So I think a lot of the cruise lines are still going to have this vaccinated, unvaccinated, but now kids that are 5 to 11 years old, they can be one or the other, where before that vaccine was approved for 5 to 11-year-olds, they could only be unvaccinated. So I think that's what you'll see happen. Question: do any cruise lines allow in unvaccinated adult passengers? There was a time where that was true. I think there's still probably some medical exemptions on some cruise lines, some religious exemptions, but they're few and far between. The big change came back when the Bahamas said that they weren't going to allow anybody into the country if people on the ship were unvaccinated without certain reasons. And at that point, most of the cruise lines said, look, everybody that could get the vaccine, you got to get the vaccine. So I don't even know right now if there's any out there where you can get on unvaccinated, but like MSC used to be that way. There was an exemption process for Carnival. I believe that Royal would allow unvaccinated passengers. They weren't doing the 95% vaccinated, so Royal still could be a possibility, but I would check with the line just to make sure if there's any that you're looking at. Is Disney still testing at the port? I don't know. I do believe that they are. NCL's getting ready to end that, but I think Disney's still testing at the port. Let's go. Lots of good questions. Question: will the CDC keep publicly showing the level of cases on each ship after they step back? I think so. I mean, I think they're still going to continue that relationship. So it wouldn't surprise me if that. I mean, there's still going to be the people that would investigate cases. And so I think that whole process, because the cruise lines, they've worked with the CDC for a long time. The vessel sanitation program was a voluntary program that the cruise lines joined up with the CDC, where the CDC would come on board and do cruise ship inspections, like kind of a health inspection. And so they've had that, relationship for a long time where they work together. Not that, the CDC was shutting things down, that kind of stuff. And so it wouldn't surprise me if the same thing happened with the COVID tracking, where they would do investigations if there's a certain amount of cases. I don't imagine that website going away. I just think maybe the rules part of it will now transition over to the cruise lines. Do you think we'll ever be able to cruise unvaccinated? So this is my personal opinion, and I think it's going to be a while. I think, to me, so everybody says, oh, you can go to baseball games or you can go to the mall or whatever. To me, the most analogous thing to cruising is international travel. All cruises from the U.S. have an international travel component. And so for me, what I look at to be the kind of the barometer or kind of the indicator as to what's happening is what's going on in international travel. So as long as there's a vaccine component for international travel, I think there will likely be a vaccine component for cruising. There's always been a vaccine component for international travel. So some countries that are super susceptible to yellow fever, you would have to have a yellow fever vaccine before you either got there or came from that country, kind of thing. So it's not abnormal for there to be a vaccine requirement. And since COVID is pervasive across the globe, then I believe that's why with this international travel aspect, that's why you have to see that's why there's this vaccine requirement for international travel like airlines, but also international travel with cruising. So I would throw out all those sideways arguments like sporting events and all that kind of stuff. Those are all different animals. I would follow what's going on with international travel when it comes to figuring out what's going on with the requirements for cruising, at least some part of it. Question: when are we going to get some cooler weather? Writing this from Orlando. Mario, we had a cold snap. Like I caught a cold because it was cold. It was like down in the low 50s over here for like a whole week. So we've had it. We've had enough winter here in Florida. You guys move me to Florida, I can never be cold again. John Hughes, when do you think that fully vaccinated definition will change to include boosters? I think it's coming. I've already seen people speaking that way. So you're starting to see it. I've seen it in the comments on the videos. I've started to see it when I watch some of the sources that I watch. Yeah, so that's a challenge, right? Jenny and I were just talking about that. When you have people that got, you know, their original vaccine back in, I think we got ours in April or something like that. We've gotten the booster also. But what happens is they're saying that, you know, as these months go on, the effectiveness of the vaccine wanes. Again, the vaccine was designed for the original virus. Then Delta took over as the dominant virus. There's some question as to whether Omicron will overtake Delta. Well, the vaccine wasn't really designed for those things. The way that it attacks those things is very similar, but there's still some differences. And so the problem is, once you get further away from that original vaccine, then you become more susceptible to infection. The good thing is the vaccine's still doing a good job of preventing, you know, large-scale severe COVID hospitalization, that kind of thing. But if you get the booster, that gets even better. And so I think you'll see it. If these cases continue to spike up, I think that fully vaccinated will include having a booster shot sooner rather than later. It wouldn't surprise me if in the first quarter next year, cruise lines are saying, look, you got to have a booster to be you know, considered fully vaccinated. That's if these cases keep going up. If the bottom drops out and it looks like you don't need the booster and you're okay, I don't think it'll be there. But the trajectory right now, it doesn't look like the cases are going to just drop right off. Let's see. Yeah, so Jeff Wilson, same question. And, you know, I do see the comments out there like COVID's now normalized. It's not quite normalized yet. Again, you're still losing 1,300 people a day to this disease that's killed, you know, what are we at? 700,000. That's a lot of death in just a short period of time. There's nothing else that's really killing people that quickly. And so until that death number comes down below 1,000 or way closer to zero, it's not going to be normalized. But I think at some point we will transition into a fact where, you know, we're just living with this thing. If you get to the place, like, I know that Pfizer is currently working on a pill. It may have gotten approved that, you know, that it's reducing people from going to the hospital, from dying. If all of a sudden you can take a pill and not die and not go to the hospital from COVID and the deaths go down, people might get infected all over the place, but that's going to be a more normalized scenario that would match other things that we deal with in our lives. But as long as that death number is still high, like above 1,000, that's a lot of people dying a day. I know it's, you know, it's 1,000 out of 300 million or something like that, but still it's a lot more than, you know, if I don't know, if anything else was killing 1,300 people a day, we'd be like, something's got to be done about this. I think that's where we're at still. 800,000 deaths. Yeah, I haven't been tracking the COVID numbers too much lately. I've just been looking at the charts going up and down. That's a lot of people, man. Let's see. Looking for questions. I do love this. I can't remember where we got this Buc-ee's mug. I might have bought this one. I thought it was a gift, but I think I got this. Yeah, so Scarlet Lady, See the World with Chris. Scarlet Lady is another cruise line not requiring mask. It'll be interesting. So we need to be on the lookout for Celebrity and Scarlet Lady to see if they do that. Do wonder if boosters will be the norm. Will it be 6 months? So there's a chart on the CDC website that talks about what your original vaccine is and when the boosters are recommended. So like the Johnson & Johnson, the boosters recommended quicker than the other two. So make sure that you check that out. And then, yeah, it could be an every 6 months thing and every year thing. It just depends how it happens. Is there a waiting time after the booster to be considered fully vaccinated? Question by Katie. Yeah, like the thing I did the other day for the cruise line in France, AIDA. Yeah, AIDA in their documentation says that you have to have 2 weeks since your booster to be considered ready to go. So it'll be something like that. There'll be some sort of time frame, just like with your vaccines, to be considered fully vaccinated. Let's see. Susie Smith, we've been cut to 50% capacity at restaurants. Where you at, Susie? What town? What city? What state? So what else is going on? Should I cancel my cruise for the end of January 2020? David, that just depends on you, man. Like, are you happy to cruise with these protocols? Do you not want to cruise with these protocols? Do you feel safe? Do you not feel safe? If you have any apprehension about it and you can cancel and get your money back, I'm going to say cancel. Like, there's no reason to go cruising if you don't feel comfortable with it. But if you feel comfortable with it, go, by all means. There's, I say that before. I say that a lot in the comments. There's people out there like, there's no way I would ever cruise right now. And what I say to that is like, don't cruise right now. That's the beautiful, like, again, this is like archery at college. Nobody's making you take archery. Nobody's making you get on a cruise ship. If you feel uncomfortable, don't go. But if you feel comfortable with the protocols, go, and for goodness sakes, follow the protocols. The other thing about the story today where I talked about the couple that was on board the Odyssey that ended up with COVID, I gave you a straight news story. I didn't give you a lot of opinion there, but there's some questions in there. Like, they waited a little bit before they announced that they weren't feeling good. And I think that's something, I don't think they were being nefarious about it. I don't think they were doing anything, but news alert right now. If you're cruising on the cruise ship and you don't feel good, tell somebody, because they may have tested positive the day they didn't feel good, and they still went out and went to Aruba and they went to the casino and all that stuff. And again, I don't think they did that in a malicious way. I just think, I got a little sniffle, I don't feel very bad, that kind of thing. This is serious times, especially when you're traveling with a bunch of people. If you don't feel good, say something. And I've also seen people in the comments saying, I'm never saying anything. So we live in a crazy time, man, but we got to caretake each other. And if we're going to travel with each other, I would hope that if you don't feel good, you're going to say something for your sake and for the sake of the people that you're traveling with. That's my opinion. Texas Girl, thank you so much for the super sticker. It's a lemon hugging a lime. I like that. Thank you so much. And Bill Wersnick, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Super chat.
I loved archery in college. I feel like they made me take archery in college because I loved it. I've always had a weird Robin Hood obsession. So let me shoot the bow and the arrow. But never enough of an obsession to like be competitive at it. Christy said, can I say hello to your dad? His name is Andy. Hello, Andy. Hope you're doing well today, man. Happy Friday. Cindy, thank you so much for the super sticker. Yeah, Meg, it's a fair concern. I mean, the more I reflected on that story today, it's the people who won't say something that worries me. Yeah, it's it's a crazy time. So you gotta put that into your risk, your risk model, right? It's risk versus reward. You got to say, look, I had that epiphany on the Mardi Gras, like when I would get on the elevator and people wouldn't wear a mask and they didn't care. And there was nothing that Carnival could really do about it. I really don't believe that you can police the elevators without stationing a crew member in every elevator, which seems ridiculous from a cost perspective. I don't think the cruise lines can hold adults to do all the things that adults are supposed to do. I think they can get you 80% of the way, but that other 20%, people should just be legit people. They should just follow the rules. That's if we all, if you're off by yourself, do whatever you want. But if you're in a scenario where you got other people that are depending on you to follow the rules, follow the rules. And I don't think that the cruise lines can police that all the way. Like I said, they can probably police it 80% of the way. And so when you're making your decision whether you're going to cruise right now and whether you feel safe right now, part of that is you have to factor in there's just going to be people that aren't going to follow the rules. There's going to be people that, again, maybe not because of any bad reason, they just don't think that they should tell people that they feel bad. And so you got to factor all that in when you go cruising. And again, I'm not trying to dissuade people. I'm not trying to convince people to go cruising. I'm just saying that it's up to each one of us to work out that risk profile. And, people not complying is part of it, part of the calculation, as it were. Mr. Get It Done 85. Gosh, I wish it was 1985. A 14-year-old me would be out there clueless, not knowing what to do with my life. Do you think cruise lines are going to start pricing people if they can't go full capacity in the future? Are they going to start increasing the price? If they can't fill the cruise ships, right? So you see some really low cruise pricing right now. I think they're doing whatever they can to get people on board. Again, if you end up with more demand than you have supply, they're going to be able to increase the price. But if they're not able to fill up the cruise ships, the only thing they can do is let their price go down to get more people on the cruise ship. So it's really going to be a supply and demand thing. We got more cruise ships coming out every month, more cruise ships. So all of a sudden you're going to have a lot of inventory out there. And if the cruise lines can't get people on that inventory to get to whatever their break-even point is it 50%? Is it 60%? Is it 30%? If they can't get to that capacity, there's no way they're going to get a price increase going. I mean, maybe some of the like high-end lines or something like that where, they're going to get the money, like Disney will still be able to charge Disney prices. But, companies that have 20 cruise ships and all of them are on the water and they can't fill them up, they're not going to be able to charge a premium for that. They're going to be cutting prices to get people on board, my opinion. Let's see. Looking for questions. Do you have questions on a Friday night? Have I heard anything about the lady that fell overboard the other day? Space Oyster, the last thing that I heard, so I heard that she was in their 20s. I heard that she was from Detroit. I heard that they have good video. I don't even, that's still speculative. The last thing I heard that's official is that they called off the search, sadly, and she was not recovered, and that the FBI has joined the investigation and that they would be using the video of the event to determine what happened. I've heard a lot of speculation. I've heard a lot of other stuff, so I don't really want to speculate, but the official word that came out is called off the search. No body recovered. She was not recovered, and that the FBI is now taking over that investigation, and they're using the video of the event to figure out what happened. Question: there's a lot of vaccine card fraud. Is there a lot of vaccine card fraud that you know of? We're booked for NCL Bliss in January, and we'll wear masks due to potential people faking vaccination. Nobody's saying it, so I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I get lost in the TikTok rabbit hole, and there was somebody that was boldly, selling fake vaccine cards on TikTok, and then another TikTok creator called them out and called the FBI on them, and they got arrested, and that I saw that in like a legit news article, and so it's happening. I mean, people are out there faking vaccine cards. Personally, my personal philosophy is that, dishonesty has its own reward. And, I believe people will get away with stuff sometimes when they can. But again, that catches up with you. But I haven't heard the cruise line saying, oh, we're catching a huge amount of, fake vaccine cards. But again, and it depends it really depends on what your position is on the vaccine. Do you think the vaccine is doing what it should do? Is it limiting severe COVID? Do you feel comfortable with the level of protection that you have with your vaccine and your booster? If you do, it doesn't matter, honestly, if the fake vaccine person gets on. I mean, it matters on some level. I mean, there's a potential to, breakthrough infection, that kind of, but the person that's at the greatest risk would be the non-vaccinated person, because they're at the greatest risk for getting severe COVID. And so, but again, that's the world. I mean, what are you going to do? There's no way to police the whole world. So again, you have to work out your risk model and say, is it worth getting on a cruise ship? Because there could be possible fake vaccine cards. If that's too much for your risk model, then you don't go. But if it's something you say, well, it's going to be what it's going to be, then you do go. So it's not easy. I mean, not easy times. Yeah, I see the comment. Yeah, Delta's still prevalent when it comes to, being the more dangerous of the variant. And so it's going to be interesting. I mean, that's the conversation. Will Omicron, which is less severe, be able to overtake Delta? And that's starting to happen in some places. Question, no question. Just wanted to say I love your show. Thanks for doing it. Miranda, thank you so much. It's very kind. I appreciate the support and the encouraging words. Again, I'm glad to do it. I feel very lucky that this is what my life has become over the last couple years. And I appreciate you guys being here with me, and I'm glad that I'm helpful. Let's see. Jenny Cruise Commander, did you see the recent Pair DJ video this week where the heckler... Yeah, so I heard a lot of people talking about it. I went and saw the video. It was a crazy thing. There was a prank channel. I don't know what video it is from Pair DJ. It's one of their celebrity summits, but there was a guy that has his own YouTube prank channel, which I can't find because I would love to see their video of this. But man, they heckled the cruise director. They heckled the cruise director. They heckled the captain of the cruise ship, and they heckled the comedian before they got thrown out of the theater. I don't know why they didn't throw the guy out when he was heckling the captain. Like, you just shouldn't heckle. You shouldn't heckle anybody. They should have thrown him out when he was heckling the the cruise director. But yeah, apparently that's what the person does to get their views, and they've got millions of subscribers. So, but yeah, I would like to see their deal. So, let's see. Are cruises still stopping in Key West? We're supposed to go there for Jan. Yeah, I haven't heard any cruise ships turned away. They're being met with some protests, some opposition, but Key West is still a stop on. I haven't heard it going away. I like in the beginning when last year during the election when it was first passed that you couldn't go. I know some cruise lines altered their itineraries, not many, but then everything changed. They could go back. I don't think anybody's skipping Key West. Question: considering Celebrity Cruises for June of 2023, will they have sent their newer ships to Europe? In your opinion, is Celebrity premium price? Celebrity does cost more than going on Carnival or Royal or NCL. It's a whole different vibe. I like Celebrity quite a bit. I enjoy the ships. The hardware of the ships are very nice. The food's very good. The entertainment's very good. It's just a super chill vibe. It costs you more, but it's I feel like it's worth it. Again, it just depends what you want to do. I like Celebrity. Like if I could afford it all the time, I would cruise Celebrity a lot. And if I wasn't trying to try every cruise line, but if I had to boil down loyalty, Celebrity would be in the top 3 of cruise lines that I would try to go on often. Jim Dalton, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the great info, Tony. We're committed to going on our January cruise. You're right. Assess the risk and make the right decision. That's all you can do. I mean, that's all you can do. Everybody's got an opinion. What's the old saying? Opinions are like, well, this is a PG, this is a family show. But yeah, everybody's got opinions. And and you know, what you really have to do in this day and age, which is really hard, is you've got to figure out what your trusted sources are. And there is so much information coming at your face from strangers, from people that you don't know, from people that haven't really built a trust bond with you. Keep your circle small. Keep a small set of trust, but try to keep it to be diverse. The other challenge with today's society is that if you only listen to people that say the things that you like to hear, then you miss the opportunity to possibly change your mind or just stretch your learning. So I would suggest when you're building your circle of trust for information, make sure you have a diverse voice in there too, so that you can really make sure you're not painting yourself into a corner. But yeah, at the end of the day, you gotta push away the noise, go to your trusted sources, and then make the best decision possible. Ooh, Eddie Albert is elite on Celebrity. I tell you what I like on Celebrity is that we got moved into the Aqua class one time, and I love the Blue Restaurant. It was good. Bob, can Don and I get together for a year-end broadcast? Don asked me to be on his live stream on Saturday, so make sure you tune in to Don's family vacation on Saturday. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's 8 p.m. or something like that. Make sure you tune in to Don on Saturday, and I will be there. So we'll be together over on Don's channel. Space Oyster, which cruise line has the best food in your opinion? I believe this. Not everybody, like even Jenny, doesn't always believe the same thing. I believe that MDR to MDR, it's all basically the same. You got people mass producing food, almost banquet style. Some are better than others. Like I found Norwegian and Royal to be better at the MDR than Carnival and MSC, for example. Princess's MDR was really good. I think it comes down to especially restaurants if you really want to be blown away with the food. And Royal's especially restaurants have always kind of turned me on a little bit. But I had really good food on the specialty restaurants at NCL. So I'm the worst person to ask about it because I'm always trying to find the good in everything. But, you know, for me, like when I get real nitpicky is when it comes to like entertainment, that kind of stuff. But food, you know, it's not hard to find good food on the cruise ship, on most cruise ships. But yeah, when it comes to MDR, I'm going to put Norwegian, Princess, Royal above the other 3 lines that we've been on. Even Celebrity, like we were fortunate on Celebrity, we were in Blue, and that's like a specialty restaurant. That was fantastic. But I do believe that, you know, their MDR wasn't like anything to write home about. Larry Richmond, thank you so much for the super chat. Not blowing smoke here, but if I only had the time to watch one cruise tuber, it would be, thank you. Level-headed and accurate. Thanks as always. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Everybody's got, you know, a half an hour today. Watch all the cruise people. Just make sure you watch me first. I'm just kidding. Watch me first. Please watch me first. Have you subscribed? Do you want to make a comment? Hey, yeah, let me put that out. These live streams are for subscribers only, but it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. So if you're down there trying to comment and your comment doesn't show up, it's because you're not a subscriber. All you gotta do is hit the subscribe button. 5 minutes later, you can make a comment. Larry, thank you so much for all your comments that you make. You're very engaged in the community, and thank you for the kind words. D Hicks 3406. Hi, Tony. When's the next cruise?
Super chat.
Well, that's an interesting story, D Hicks. So, we were scheduled to go on the Celebrity Summit for an 11-day cruise in January. We decided we didn't want to do that because we were supposed to go to a Kiss concert in Las Vegas at the end of January. But the Kiss concert canceled. And but we're still going to go to Las Vegas anyways, and there for a while we thought about making an epic road trip out to Los Angeles and doing a couple cruises on the West Coast. But just today, there was a monkey put in that wrench, but we were going to go out. I'll tell you what the plan was. We were going to go out in the second week of January and get on the Norwegian Bliss and experience Norwegian again, maskless, in the same way that we were just on the Norwegian Joy. But I don't know that it's going to be maskless. And so Jenny and I both talking. We had a little meeting today, and we were talking like, okay, all these case numbers are going up. Maybe we should just take January off. And as much as that doesn't sound fun, I think we might just drive to Las Vegas and go to some cities along the way in Las Vegas, do a little road trip in January, and then get back into cruising in February. We do have a group cruise in February. It's in the Caribbean. It's on the new Sky Princess, I believe, and I'm not sure where it goes out of, but I'd have to look on Shipmate. But that's the next one, February. We almost had a couple in January, but I think we're just road tripping in January. So good question. Thank you so much. Thanks for super chat.
Super chat.
All right. What's the MDR? The MDR is just the 3 words for main dining room. So a couple of key terms. We can do some cruise lingo. I do have a video out there from 4 years ago. Can you believe we're coming up on 5 years of doing Lido, Loca? It's mind-blowing. But early on, I tried to do a thing that I thought would be helpful because people say, what is an MDR? There's a couple videos out there called Cruise Lingo. MDR, main dining room. So let's go through the food options on a cruise ship. Included food that you don't have to pay anything extra for. You could call it free food, but as soon as you call it free food in some sort of community, some wiseacre is going to be like, it's not free. You paid the price for it. It's not free. So I've trained myself to say included food options. The main dining room is one of those included food options. Many cruise ships will have multiple main dining rooms. Like on Norwegian, there were 3. You could eat at any one of them. It was kind of cool. They all had the same menu. They just had a different vibe. MDR, that's your first cruise lingo, main dining room. Number 2, the Lido buffet. It comes with different names. It's called the Windjammer on Royal. Some other place I was on, call it the Marketplace, whatever. Usually that's included. There's going to be some sort of free buffet. See, I said free. Included buffet. It's not free. Included buffet. And then there's going to be fast casual, included food. So like on Carnival, you got a Guy's Burger, Shack's Big Chicken, Blue Iguana. They have a lot on Carnival. I think Carnival does included food just as good as anybody. They got the deli. They got the 24-hour pizza. Norwegian, that's what the local is. They're included fast food, the local. So, those are some terms that you need to learn. Included food, buffet, MDR. There's a little cruise lingo session. It's not free. Do you guys run into any of these? It's not free. It's like, what I'm talking. Can I rant for a second? The biggest pet peeve is if I'm communicating with you well, the words don't necessarily matter. If I say that, the MDR is free, you know exactly what I mean. I mean, it's included. And maybe some people don't, but most people do. The people that are correcting you know exactly what you mean. So if you know what I mean, there's no need for correction. That's communication. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Question, sorry I'm late. What was the RCL update? RCL requiring mask indoors for every place. Currently, until this update, this is to January the 5th, and even in the vaccinated area. So when I went on the Odyssey of the Seas, when I went into the casino, you had to be vaccinated to get in the casino. You didn't have to wear a mask. For the theater show, the bottom part of the theater, vaccinated only, you didn't have to wear a mask. But now they're tightening that up, and for all their cruises to January the 5th, you gotta wear a mask everywhere. Let's see. LMP, gotta love that. I ate pizza on the buffet on Norwegian. Like I said, it wasn't good. Question, what are your thoughts on port-related, port-reliant cruises? I'm worried about my spring Mediterranean cruises. It could refuse the ship if they find, yeah. So like if you're going on, you go to the Caribbean. For me, we didn't get off on any of the ports. We like the cruise ship. The cruise ship is the destination. If that's not your bag, if that's not what your cruise is all about, you might be concerned. We did book a cruise this week, and it does involve the Mediterranean. I can't spill the beans yet on that because there's multiple components on it. But in 2022, we'll be heading over to Europe, which is exciting for the very first time. But every place that I'm going over there, I want to go to the port. And so it's a great question. If you see these ports start shutting down and your cruise is still going, you could make some assumptions like, wow, this might be a cruise to nowhere, a cruise where I stay on the cruise ship. And if you're in the U.S. and that's happening over in the Mediterranean, do you want to do that? Do I want to fly to Greece to not get off the cruise ship, for example? That would be a no for me. And so I would be looking to move that cruise or get my money back, that kind of thing. So watch that one close. That's a great question from Anastasia. If you're running into a cruise where those ports are super important to you and it looks like they might be locking down, I would try to get out of the cruise. Let's see. Oh man, the hammers are killing you guys. It's so funny. B Stance, I don't see a shutdown coming, but there's two. Yeah, I saw somebody mention it today. We should plan for the worst and hope for the best. I'm the opposite. I'm nothing's bad until it's bad, right? And I would rather think about things being good and then deal with things that are bad than to think that everything is bad and then be pleasantly surprised when things are good, because I feel like you're going to miss out on a lot of good stuff waiting for the, thinking everything that's bad. So, again, we see all these policy changes today, and none of those policy changes says we're shutting down. And so that's good. But, it's not out of the realm of possibility that things will shut down. But I think whatever's happening is you see an active adjustment to what's going on in the world, and the cruise lines are staying open. The cruise lines have been open, and they haven't shut down yet. So, until it happens, until it's canceled, it's not canceled. That's my take on it. Subcooled one, thank you so much for the super chat. Starbucks on you. You got it, buddy. We're going right after the show. Actually, there's Starbucks coffee in my. So this, we decided to do coffee at home more. So I'm drinking hot coffee, and this is a breakfast blend from Starbucks. Larry Rickman, that's a good point. Never bad food, but yeah, sometimes the expectations will throw you off. The other epiphany I had on that Norwegian cruise is that really try stuff that you don't normally have, because the problem with trying stuff that you normally have is you got a good reference for comparison, and then you might be disappointed. Like, wow, I went to the steakhouse. This steak's not as good as the one I had at the Stockyard in Nashville. What the heck? But when you go somewhere and if there's a cuisine you haven't had before, you might be like, oh, I've never had lobster thermidor. This is the coolest thing I've ever had, because you don't have a point of reference. Now, I'll probably go to some French restaurant in New Orleans one day and, get blown away with lobster thermidor, and I'll be like, oh, that lobster thermidor wasn't that good on the cruise. But for right now, it's the best lobster thermidor I've ever had. Did celebrity change its mask policy? I haven't seen it yet. We've been watching the travel email, been looking at the internet. Usually they lag a little bit behind Royal. But this whole time, Royals had a masking policy for the majority of the ship, and Celebrity hasn't, so we'll have to see. Jesus Garcia, where do I get my shirts? These bigger shirts that I've got lately, like this shirt, the one that's blue and orange, a couple others I get at JCPenney's. JCPenney's has a big and tall section. These are 4XL. And some of the older ones, though, I may have gotten online or something like that. But probably 4 of the 6 or something that I've been wearing lately came from JCPenney's. Question, any updates on Hawaiian cruise ships? Doug, the only thing is the same thing. They said they're not going to start allowing, travel cruising until January. So I think we're going to have to wait a couple more weeks to see if they allow it to happen. I was looking at cruises in January out of Los Angeles. There's still cruises on the books going from LA to Hawaii. So right now they're not canceled. So we'll have to keep watching. Jose, why is so many people saying thanks for the super chat? Because we want to show gratitude. I might not catch every one of the super chats, but the Blue Crew here, not only are they keeping the trolls at bay, they're also helping pass the gratitude. And thank you for the prompt there. Hey, thanks everybody for all the support that you show for the show. Thanks everybody who has subscribed, who's hit the like button, who's given a super chat, who's bought merch, who participates in our Patreon. We couldn't do this show. We couldn't live the life that we live without your support. And hopefully it's a fair exchange. Hopefully you're enjoying the content that we give you and that you feel value. And thanks everybody who watches the YouTube ads, all that stuff. So yeah. That's what it's all about, man. It's about gratitude, and the Blue Crew is a great bunch of people that are happy to show gratitude also. That's why you get so many thanks for the super chats. And it would be weird if they said, hey man, screw you for the super chat. Wouldn't that be odd? It'd be funny, but it would be odd. Updates on the new Galveston RC terminal. I haven't heard anything about it other than I think there was a groundbreaking I saw a few months ago. There's more ships getting assigned to Galveston, so I think that's all good stuff. Let's see. Are there any ships going out at 100%? 100% what? Oh, capacity? No, I don't think so. I think Carnival's kind of leading the way. They're getting up into the 80% capacity, but I don't think they're 100% yet. Yeah, Eddie, I do shop at DXL sometimes. The only problem is, man, the clothes are expensive there. Like it's, you know, a t-shirt for $40, like some sort of graphic tee. That's pretty expensive. You know, it's like, meh. It's like, I know I'm big and I know it takes some extra material, but I don't know if it takes $40 worth of extra material. Yeah, so there we go. Somebody's on the edge right now. No mask requirement. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Celebrity, again, they've been maskless the whole time. Okay, what are we at? We're at 5:35. We'll go to 6 o'clock, so 25 more minutes of answering questions. I think I'm about to run out of coffee, though. Questions? Anybody has any questions? Do I have a hotel suggestion for Seattle before your cruise? Go watch that vlog where Don and I walked around looking for Starbucks. It's on the channel. I think it's called Marriott Downtown Waterfront Marriott. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I don't know the name of it on the top of my head, but I say it very plainly in that video. So it's the Lost in Seattle Looking for Starbucks video. It'll show you our hotel a little bit. That place was great. It was right across the street from the NCL terminal, and it was really easy to get to where we went to get on the Princess ship. I'm pretty sure it's a Marriott. Linda says, does Royal hand out masks? Every cruise that I've been on, they've given out masks. So I've got mask on Royal, Celebrity, MSC gave out masks. Even NCL, they gave out like those KN95, not like the regular N95, but the next version of the N95. They gave those to us on that cruise. Yeah, so Apex required mask in Greece. So yeah, mainly we're talking about U.S. cruising. I think most of the European cruises are requiring mask, NCL, all those versions. Let's see. Do Don and I have any plans for traveling together? Yeah, so one thing that was supposed to happen that didn't happen just because of the timing of the thing, Jenny and I were going to go on that same cruise that Don just came off of on the Celebrity Summit. We were worried about getting our testing because we were getting off a cruise the same day that cruise was starting. So that was going to be a time that Don and I were going to be together. But this the secret European plan involves Don also. So again, that's why I can't say too much because I don't know if he's going to make a big announcement or anything like that. But we got some stuff in the works. And then I'm going to be on Don's show on Saturday. So make sure you are subscribed to Don's Family Vacations and look for the live stream on Saturday. I think it's going to be 7 or 8 o'clock. I don't know. And how about this? I'm going to go meet an OG, an old school YouTuber on Sunday. There's somebody that really inspired me when I got in the game. And, well, I'll just tell you who it is. Morgan O'Brien, Morgan's Unofficial Travel Guides, is over here from Germany. And this is one guy I've always wanted to meet, so I'm fanboying a little bit. I get to go meet Morgan on Sunday. So maybe by Monday or Tuesday I'll be able to share some footage of Morgan and I together in the same place, which is kind of exciting. Do you and Jenny qualify for free cruises on NCL? Not that I know of. So sometimes we get stuff free through the travel side. Like if Jenny does a certain like training, like the first Princess cruise we went on, it was because she did training. But then the last NCL cruise, the Joy that we went on, she won something. So she won a cruise on NCL Joy. So sometimes we get a free cruise through travel like that. Most of the time we're just paying for our cruises. But I don't know. I gambled a lot on this last NCL cruise. So I keep looking at my email, seeing if I can get maybe a casino offer, but I haven't seen that yet. And I did get a casino offer from Carnival. So Yeah, anything that we can do to make it cheaper so that we can go more. That's what we're trying to do. How about that for a tease? I think it will be tomorrow's video. So I get asked that question a lot. How do you cruise so often? I did a series of videos a couple years ago, but I've updated that video. So tomorrow there'll be a pretty. I try to make it concise. I find when the videos get to 20 to 25 minutes, people aren't digging them as much. So I made a less than 10 minutes guide on how to cruise more. That will be coming out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. New policy is on Royal Caribbean. There were places where vaccinated people could be without wearing a mask. The casino, a couple of the bars, the theater. That's all changing. So they're upping their policy, and even vaccinated people will not be able to be unmasked inside, even in those vaccinated places. That's the short nugget. I read the whole email, so once this is a replay, go back and watch the beginning of it. Let's see. Hey, Jose says, do you feel a 2-day PCR test is good enough, or are 24 hours test before embark? Do you feel? I don't know. Whatever test they tell me to take, I feel like it's good enough. I'm not an expert on how the testing works or anything like that, and so I'm more of a compliant to cruise kind of person. Again, I'll say it again because now I love the analogy. It's new. You guys saw the genesis of the analogy. Cruising is like archery in college. It's not required, and so I'll do whatever they tell me to do so that I can go to archery class. But I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever test they tell me to take, that's the test I'm taking. Yeah, so, and here's another thing, and yeah, I see Jenny's email address out there. Jenny on the travel side, Lido, Loca Travel, she's got a whole team of people. If you want help with your cruises, reach out through that email, jbarnett@expediacruises.com. Jenny has booked and canceled thousands of cruises over the last couple years, and so there's a lot of great travel agents out there, certainly, but Jenny has had a ton of experience over the last couple years, and she has a whole team around her now. So if you need help with travel, it doesn't cost anything. Sometimes you get cheaper rates. You're never going to pay more than what you would normally pay the cruise line going through yourself, but you get this whole extra wealth of knowledge. If you need help with your cruise travel, reach out to the Jenny B Show, jbarnett@expediacruises.com. Dylan, thank you so much. The new shirt rocks. Thank you. Yeah, I like this shirt actually. Somebody said it camouflages my beard, but I don't know. I think they're complimentary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, Larry Rickman, au contraire, mon frere. I was pleasantly surprised on Celebrity and Royal that they have a safe tip archery. They actually have bow and arrow with padded arrows, and they have these cool floating targets where you can actually do archery on the cruise ship. So yes, you're right. Don't take a bow and arrow on board, but participate in archery on board. I think it's called Safe Tip Archery or Safe Archery or something. It's really fun, and it was unique the first time I did it. Michael Goings, thank you so much for the super chat. Great work, Tony. Thank you for what you do. Appreciate it, Michael. Thank you. Lucretia, can you do this more often? Live news? Yeah, possibly. I've been thinking about targeting. So right now it's the planning period for 2022. There's a lot of stuff going on that we're trying to get in place for 2022. And one of those things that I want to do is make sure I get a more consistent podcast, weekly podcast that has an interview component. And then also, in addition to our Tuesday Night Live, maybe a show where I do an interview with somebody else in the community or somebody that's interesting, or live news, that kind of thing. So maybe we're just trying to figure out what night that would be for me to do that show. Could be like a Tuesday Night Live with Jenny and I, and then like a Thursday news show with me and guest, that kind of thing. So appreciate that. It sounds like you're down with the suggestion. If you're down with that suggestion, make sure you guys hit the like button and leave a comment. Would you like to see an extra live a week with me talking about news or me interviewing somebody? Jenny's always going to be here on Tuesday. A lot of people ask that. Where's Jenny? Jenny's running a whole big multi-cajillion-dollar travel business, and so I'm the YouTuber in the family. Jenny's the travel guru, and I know we used to make a lot of videos together, but now we have these kind of defined roles. I get her one day a week, so you get her one day a week. But yeah, so if you want more content, it's coming out of this. Larry, that's funny. I shop at Target. That's as close as archery I get. Bullseye, baby. Let's see. Question. Have you been on a Chris Jericho's pro wrestling cruise? I've been thinking about I've never been on a theme cruise. The one theme cruise I'd like to go on would be the Kiss Cruise. Unfortunately, they have that at Halloween every year, and early on we decided to have our annual Halloween group cruise on Halloween because it's in the name. And so I haven't been able to go on a Kiss Cruise, but I do like wrestling. I read an interesting article that I didn't share with you guys because I didn't think many people would enjoy it, but I read an article with Chris Jericho, and he lost money on that theme cruise for a couple years. Like, he's lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but now apparently it's doing well. I think that would be cool. I would go to it. Question, coming on really late. Yes, I'll be on with Don tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow Saturday. Yes, Saturday night. It's Friday, right? That makes sense. The TA website, go to our website, lalidolocatravel.com, or not Lalito, lalidoloca.com. Let me see if I can fish out the website. Hold on. Yeah, you can go and like search for prices and stuff on Jenny's site without having to send her an email, which some people like that better. It's kind of like booking through the cruise line. Let me pull a link for you guys. This is one I don't even think the admins have going, so let me pull it up myself. Oh, there's a picture of the beautiful Jenny. I love that travel site. Let this site blow your mind, everybody. And maybe Matt, if you're out there, you might want to snag this one. This is a good one to share to you. So you can go get quotes and prices. You can book a cruise. You can even make your deposit without talking to anybody on that website. Let me click it just to make sure that it comes up. There you go. It's an Expedia Cruises. You'll see Jenny's picture on the top right. She's 2 diamond, whatever that means. It means she's dang sexy. And yeah, you can do that. Tom Taylor, thank you so much for the super. Yes, Slinky, they still have to go to the link inside of it. The travel has a nice picture of Jenny, but there's a link at the bottom that really takes you to where you can book the cruise. Thank you for putting it out there, Slinky. Tom Taylor, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks, Tony, for the great work. Enjoyed the spontaneous live. Great as always. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I was almost going to make another video for the Royal Caribbean announcement, but that would have killed the Norwegian video. So it's YouTube's a dance, right? We want as many people to see the content as possible, and so you can't step on other videos. But I thought that it was important to talk about the Royal, and so you can go live without it messing you up too much. So I thought I would come and hang out live with you guys and answer some questions. Thank you for the super chat. Super chat. Jenny B likes that website. She designed it herself. She's a mad programmer. I'm just kidding. Where did you get the awesome shirt? That's right, JCPenney's. Jacques Cousteau Penne. I used to have a wacky grandfather. Like, he was my step-grandfather, but he was like the wacky version of a grandfather, my Papa Wayne. And we used to goof off together when I was 8 or 9 years old, and that was one of the funniest things. Okay, this will be a little off color. One of the funniest things that's ever been said to me in my life, and this is a little poo-poo humor. My Papa Wayne passed gas at one time, and he made a funny look on his face, and I said, Papa Wayne, what happened? And he said, Tony Joe? Don't anybody call me Tony Joe. He said, Tony Joe, is a fart wet and runny? And I was like, well, no, Papa. And he said, well, I do believe I crapped my pants. That was still one of the funniest things, and he didn't say crap, he used another word. That's still one of the funniest things in my life. And then we had just watched a bunch of documentaries, like I'm a nerd all the way back, and we were going to JCPenney's, and my papa said, we're going to JCPenney's, and I said, Papa Wayne, was JCPenney's named after Jacques Cousteau? And he said, Jacques Cousteau Penne. Yeah, it was. And then so, look, maybe that's just funny to me, but now I dare you to go to JCPenney's and not think of Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau Penne. George in Atlanta, thank you so much for the super chat. Late boarding, Royal Sunday, what's the word? George, if you're fully vaccinated and you were looking forward to going to those fully vaccinated areas like the casino or the theater or a bar that's fully vaccinated and removing your mask, you can't do that anymore. That's the big change. You used to be able to do that, but they're changing that, and that's going to be in place until January the 5th. Thank you for the super chat. I will not answer to Tony Joe, just so you guys know. That's for grandparents only.
Super chat.
Oh, the coffee's getting so low. So low. Yeah, my papa was a fun man. That's right. You got to think of poop and Jacques Cousteau at JCPenney's. How about that? Question, Tony, speak to booking package flight hotel cruise through travel company versus booking it yourself. This is what I understand about booking flights. Most travel agencies have to charge a service charge because they're getting a service charge passed to them from the airlines. I'm not the travel guru. Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the travel airlines, every time I've asked a travel agent beyond Jenny, can you book my flights for it? They say it's normally better if you book the flights on your own. You're going to get a better shot at it. And so, hotel for sure, but, the flights I would book on my own. I don't know if that answers your question, but Jenny, if you got a good answer to that question, maybe that's helpful to you. Let's see. Yeah, Jessica B. I saw New York. What's wild is they just opened Broadway up. Like I saw Lin-Manuel Miranda, reopening Hamilton, and then a week later or something, they've shut it down again. So it's kind of a bummer. Let's see. Have you ever cruised out of Charleston, South Carolina? Which cruise line? Cedric, we really wanted to. We lived in Charlotte for the beginning of our cruising career. So we started cruising in 2017. We moved here in the beginning of 2020. So we lived in Charlotte for 3 years. The only thing that was over there was, I think, the Carnival Sunshine. And it was always expensive. Like, it was cheaper to go to Florida and go cruising. And early on, before we had gotten into the travel business and figured out that, travel as a small business, we were real selective about how we spent our cruising money. And so we were looking for cheaper. We would drive a little farther to go cheaper. And so we never made it to Charleston, but that was our closest home port. We're in the same boat now. Now we live right next to Tampa. So hopefully when Tampa is fully functional, we'll be able to cruise out of Tampa because that's the closest, but never made it out of Charleston. I think Carnival's the only one that cruises out of there, to be honest. Let's see. Yeah, Jose, I think we're in trouble because, I can't get up and leave and Jenny can't come in here, so I'm going to have to just slowly, what do we got, 9 minutes, so I have to slowly just, a little bit at a time. I do have this old Dunkin' from yesterday. I'm not drinking this water. That can't be good. But I have my old Dunkin' cup. Yeah, Slinky, that site is good. I don't know why we've never talked about it before, but they've really recently they've done some improvements on that site so that you can really do the whole booking process through there. So it's a good find. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it. Jessica B says she really likes cruising. Look, I really like cruising. Does everybody like cruising in here? Do we have any haters? Does the haters need any love tonight? Do you need a virtual hug? Adam says, look, Adam, I got a little bit left. A little bit. Can you see it? Oh, a little bit. I love that the inside's this white, whatever this material is. It makes for a great coffee experience. I'm just going to go a little sip. How to book Mr. Sancho's in Cozumel. Can't find it anywhere. All right. Lioness Teresa, you just go to their website. You can't book it through the cruise line. You make an appointment, a reservation. Let me see if I can find it. Mr. Sancho's. I think they just have a website, yeah. Mr. Sancho's with the great purple rain drink. It's slow, though. It's not coming up quick. Come on, Sancho's. It says I'm being redirected. That's not good. Putting my VPN to the work here. Mr. Sancho's. All right, when this link comes up, I'll share it with you guys. Yeah, just Google Mr. Sancho's. You go to their website. There's a spot where you can put a $5 reservation in, and then when you get over there, you pay the rest of the deal. Yeah, this is a Bucky the Beavers. The cool thing about, well, I don't know if I'll be close enough to Bucky's when I go to Orlando to see Morgan, but I would love to go back to Bucky's. There's a good chance I'm going to White Castle after I see Morgan on Sunday, so I don't know what else I want to do over in Orlando, but maybe do something. Let's see. Valeriano. Have we ever done Chef's Table on Carnival? Never done Chef's Table on Carnival. It looked really cool on the Mardi Gras. They've got a whole test kitchen there where they're doing Chef's Table. I've done Chef's Table on Princess and on Royal. Pretty good experience. Look, you got to be committed, though. It's like over $100. They're going to give you some funky food that may taste weird. You're going to drink a lot of weird wine, and you're going to sit there for 2 or 3 hours. So if all that sounds good, then do it. I got to be in a mood for it, to be honest. Like, I like funky food. I like weird wine pairings. I'm okay sitting around for a couple hours, but some days I'm not. And so you really got to be in the mood. It's got to be the cruise. It's pretty romantic if you want to do it with a significant other. But again, it's a little bit of a commitment. Do it once at least, but do it, just see what it's like. Question, ever tried Jamaican coffee? It's not so popular in the U.S., super popular in Europe. Man, it's strong. Yeah, when we went to Ocho Rios, we had Jamaican coffee and Jamaican beef patties. So anytime that we're in a port that has something like that, it is strong. It's dark. It's dark like espresso. It was good. Question, any chance Carnival might consider adding solo cabins on future ships? I'm sure they would consider it. I mean, again, if it's profitable, they're going to stick it on there. There seems to be a good audience. Here's the deal, though. If they can always get solo travelers to pay the extra money and put them in a regular cabin, why wouldn't they do that? Why would they carve out some solo cabins? But if they feel like maybe they're missing out on some of that solo cabin market, then maybe they will add some solo cabins. But I'm sure they're thinking about it all the time. It's got to, what to do for the solo cabin is probably a big conversation that's had at cruise lines, I would think. There's not a Buc-ee's in Orlando, Daytona. So, Tampa is on this side of the state. We're on the West Coast. So anytime I get over close to the East Coast, Orlando's not all the way to the East Coast, but I think the Buc-ee's is like an hour from the Orlando's. So, like, I feel like I'm already over there. Might as well go over there. Do I have any information on the Discover Princess going to Alaska? Discover Princess... no information other than I enjoy Princess. It's going to be a good cruise line to go to Alaska. I went on the Majestic Princess to Alaska, so you should be good. Honestly, given the trajectory of Omicron right now, do you think that the cruising is going to be shut down in most jurisdictions soon? David, I don't. I mean, unless... This is what I think is happening. Honestly, this is what I think is happening. The cruise lines are working with the CDC, and they're reporting their daily cases. If you have a lot of, infection, but you don't have severe COVID, you don't have hospitalization, you don't have people that have to go on ventilators, then essentially the vaccine's doing its job. Now, I don't know what the tolerance for that is, and so if they can keep adding these protocols, layering these protocols, putting the mask back on, social distancing, all the stuff that they're going to try to do with these layered protocols, as long as those numbers don't go out of the roof on the cruise ship, I don't think they're going to shut down. Now, that could be me being optimistic, but I'm more willing to be optimistic than to just go, well, we don't have any data yet, but I'm sure it's all going to shut down. It's just two approaches to life. So, when the data comes in, if all of a sudden all the cases skyrocket and the cruise lines have to shut down, then we go, well, the cases skyrocket and it shut down. But for right now, if their numbers are where they want to do and these extra protocols will keep those numbers down, I don't think it's going to shut down. Bobby Meyer, thank you so much for the super chat. Do mobile hotspots work for multiple devices in your cabin while logged into the ship's Wi-Fi? Do mobile hotspots. So do you have like, are you talking about like through a cell phone carrier or something like that? I mean, mobile hotspots are always going to, oh, Jenny brought coffee. Hold on. Thank you, baby. You're welcome. Look at this. We got a whole new cup of coffee. Look. Oh, it's full. Oh, it's hot too. Gosh, we could go another hour. Let's see. So mobile hotspots are going to work the same either way. So essentially in a mobile hotspot that can connect multiple devices, you just have a wireless router. Wireless router is going to be able to connect as many devices as it will connect. But it doesn't work like that on a cruise ship. So if your hotspot is something like through Verizon, if it's got a cellular modem in it, you're not going to get cell signal in the middle of the sea. You're going to be dependent on the Wi-Fi from the cruise ship. So there's really no way to hook a router up to the Wi-Fi on a cruise ship so that multiple devices can ride that connection. You're basically connecting to the router there on the cruise ship, and they are tying like your Mac ID to each device to say that this Mac ID can use the Wi-Fi. And most cruise lines are pretty good. Like when you connect a second device, they're like, you already have a device connected. Do you want to disconnect it? I hope that answers your question. I appreciate the super chat, Bobby. Is that what you were asking? If not, just type question next to your name and I'll try to clarify more, but I hope that makes sense. Thank you.
Super chat.
Question, are there testing during cruises? I'm going on Royal Caribbean 7-night cruise. There hasn't been, maturely glam, there hasn't been traditionally so far, but we did see like on the breakaway when there were some cases, and there were some cases maybe tied to a crew member from South Africa, they tested everybody before they got off the breakaway. So you could see that. If cases go up, you could see some additional testing, or if there's a requirement from a port that they're going to, or a requirement from the cruise line, I wouldn't rule it out. But most of the testing that's done on the cruise ships, easy peasy. Like, I've been tested on a cruise ship to go, when I got off in the Bahamas, I had to have a test to fly back into the United States. The day before the cruise was over, they took me into the main dining room, swabbed the nose, and they sent me a piece of paper. So it's, again, this testing, if they're testing you, it's usually not that big of a deal either. Let's see. Oh, it jumped on me again. How about repeaters on board? So Sunstoker, Celebrity did it really nice. There was a wireless access point in every cabin on Celebrity. So some of it's better than others. If you're really going on a cruise and you want to make sure that you have good Wi-Fi, I would go on a newer cruise ship. I would go on Royal. I'd go on Celebrity. Had good internet on NCL. But again, anytime that I've gone on an older cruise ship, I feel like the infrastructure is probably older for that. At the end of the day, they're all using satellite Wi-Fi when they're out in the middle of the ocean. But yeah, you want to be on the best tech, the newest tech possible. And so I would go on a ship that's been recently upgraded if the internet was part of the upgrade, or go on a newer cruise ship if that's a requirement for your cruise so that you could work or something. Let's see. I'm using a mobile router connected to the ship's Wi-Fi. Mobile router. So you... Okay, so your router is going to be the one device. Yeah, that should work. It should split up the... If your router is the device that the ship's Wi-Fi recognizes as the device that should be getting the internet, then you should be able to service any devices that can connect to that router as long as that router has a good Wi-Fi connection. So let me know if that works. That would be pretty cool. Because a lot of times we're paying for two devices it would only work in the cabin, but... Question. Hi, Tony. When you went on a cruise excursion, were vaccinated and unvaccinated passengers put on the same tour? I'm trying to think. So when I was on the Mardi Gras, at least, I don't know how many unvaccinated passengers there were. So, I mean, I don't know how I would tell that, right? The majority of people that were on the Mardi Gras were vaccinated. I believe everybody that I was on the bus with, there was only like 10 of us. I believe we were all vaccinated. So yeah, I don't know how you would tell. So, if you're concerned about being mixed vaccinated and unvaccinated, then you got to go on a cruise line that's primarily, 100% vaccinated. You want to go on a Norwegian. You want to go on the Carnival where, they're not giving out exemptions to adults, but only really kids. But it's not real forthcoming. There's no band or anything on Carnival to know the vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. Royal is one place that you could, because they do give you a band to show that you're vaccinated. So I guess you could be a band inspector. I don't want to do any of that. It just depends what your comfort level is. But I figure once I'm in the mix, I'm in the mix. And, either the deal's working or the deal's not working. And that's part of the assessment I made. But yeah, I get the fact that, but I don't think it's an easy way to tell that, that what's what. Pia Broderick, no, this was recorded yesterday at 4 p.m. No, it's still live. We're still rocking and rolling. David, thank you for that. Look, man, everybody, it's really hard to do what we do, and it's really easy to be critical of other people. And so I appreciate that you like what I do, and but to me, I appreciate you watching me, and I say give everybody else a chance too. Again, it's hard to get it out there. I'm glad that I'm people's favorites, but at the same time, I would never disparage anybody else that's trying to rock and roll and get out in front of you guys on the internet, because it's not an easy thing to do. Comes with a lot of criticism, comes with a lot of hard work, and I'm definitely not going to be one that throws the criticism at anybody else, but I will definitely say thank you. Thanks for the love that you throw my way. Larry Wilson, if doing a back-to-back, do cruises test for the second leg? Certainly. We've seen it at Carnival. We've seen it at Royal. If you're scheduled for the back-to-back, they're going to pull you into a room somewhere and test you before they do that. The news that you missed, Royal Caribbean is masking up everywhere. The big change would be in vaccinated areas where they weren't requiring vaccinated passengers indoors to wear masks. Casino, theater, that's an example. Now you have to wear a mask there. Yeah, Wu-Tang Life, if you're 12 or older, for most cruise lines. Again, some of them aren't, 12 and older. 5 to 11 is a whole different vibe. Some cruise lines are really pushing for that, some are not. We had no kids under 12 on the Joy. Now, when I was on the Joy, because of the new approved vaccine, we did have kids. And so the kids were vaccinated that were on there. Thank you, Steve Cohen. What is the RCL mask update? Yeah. Yeah, the chat's probably lagging behind. You probably got it. How long you guys want to go? We got to take our son to the airport later. I don't even think that kid's home yet. Jenny, is the kid home yet? I guess I'll have to get off before we have to go to the airport. Questions? Sometimes I just have to catch my breath. You guys notice I didn't have the light charged up. I got to figure out a way to have lights that are that don't need to be charged. So I put this light. I have like 3 of these, but none of them are charged. This is what gives us the blue behind me. It goes on a tripod. Maybe you can see it. It's a mess behind me. See the light? No. So that's why I'm having blue light. I don't know anybody was asking that question, but I was just thinking about it, looking, not seeing the blue light behind me. John Capadona, what is your sense of capacity these days? It depends by cruise line. So we had about 50% on Norwegian. Royal, I think, is still going in the 40 to 50%. Maybe they're trying to put on more. Carnival's sitting up in the 70 or 80%. So it just depends on the cruise line. Yeah. More and more. Question, what was the favorite thing to do in Alaska? I tell you, so my golf, so anybody ever play golf? Golf is a horrible game, but if you hit one good golf shot, you'll play golf forever. You're like, yeah, that one shot. Same thing for me for Alaska. Going and seeing the orca, going whale watching and actually seeing killer whale and killer whale being like 10 feet away from the boat. That's it. That was my golf shot. So it doesn't matter what anything else happened. You know, we went to Tracy's crab shack. They were out of king crab. I don't care. I saw some orca. We went on a very expensive bear hunting tour that we saw nothing. Very expensive. Took a lot of time. That's okay. I saw the orca. So try something in every town. Alaska is one of those places that you definitely have to get off the ship. Try something that's interesting to you. You're going to find some things that are great, some things that aren't. I would recommend whale watching, but you might not have the same experience as I do because people said that we had a crazy experience. You may get out there and not see anything, but just you're going to come away with something like that. You will see the bear, and that will be your golf shot. But yeah, just get out and try something. I want to hike the glacier. We're going back there in August next year. I'm trying to get in some hiking shape because I'd like to hike the glacier. Let's see. Question, when can we expect to see more 2024 itineraries available? So far to see Carnival. I'm not sure when, I don't know, Jenny, if you have an answer to that. Is it a year out? I don't know. NFL moved 3 games, so you think the cruise lines will be on hold during the winter? I don't think so, Pia. This is it's a business that if it can operate, it will operate. I won't rule out a shutdown, but I'll call it when it happens. I'll be like, okay, well, we had a shutdown, so I'm not naive to the fact that it could happen. But it makes sense for NFL. The problem is the product for NFL, NHL, NBA. The product are the people. You can't have sick players and continue to have your business. And so it's a little unique that way. They're starting to see an increase in cases in some of the athletes. And so all of a sudden, if all your athletes are out of commission, you don't really have NFL or NHL, that kind of thing. So I think that they're exercising extreme caution to protect their product, which is the people. And cruising's a little different than that. So I don't know that means that cruising will shut down. Let's see. Yeah, if I could see an orca in the Panama Canal, they say out there in California there's some places too because they're migratory, which would be kind of cool. What's the latest NCL mask policy? I saw a letter that went out to customers today saying that you're going to have to wear a mask indoors, except when you're eating and drinking, outdoors where you cannot social distance. I don't know how long that policy is in place. I know it kicks into effect for some ship tomorrow. I don't know how long it's in place. I don't know if it affects all ships, but the video that I put out highlights the ships that I did know about at the time. There's also a great article on Cruise Hive. That was the source that I saw before I got a hold of the email. So go check out the Cruise Hive article. But yeah, it sounds like they're masking up on NCL. Wu-Tang Life. Will cruise ship casinos ever have sports betting? I think Princess is there. I think they have sports betting coming on the app. You can be on the Lido and make some sports bets. So yeah, that's a real easy form of gambling to put on a cruise ship. I mean, it's really just computer based. You don't have to have dealers. You do have to, but yeah, I think you'll see it. Yeah, that makes sense, Glade. That up there in Seattle, yeah, that'd be cool. I like the shirt too. Everybody's digging the shirt. Texas Pepito, I watched the last episode of season 4 that's available for Yellowstone, so I don't think I'm a cowboy anymore. I was never a Dallas cowboy. I was a Yellowstone, Montana cowboy. We've been watching Yellowstone because everybody's been raving about it, and it's pretty good. But yeah, the other night I was completely feeling it. I can't remember what happened on the show, but how about that? Goodbye, Slinky. Thank you for being here. So Texas Pepito, I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm sorry. Do the cruise lines give out free masks? Yeah, definitely. Especially if you don't have one where you're supposed to have one, they're happy to give you a mask. I've seen that happen a couple times, but normally you have some in the room. Like I said, I've gotten masks on all cruises that I've been on this year. Excuse me. Yeah, Steve, that was the big announcement. Through January the 5th, mask on places where there weren't masks before on Royal Caribbean. NNA, thank you for the super chat. NCL is being proactive in the face of a super infectious Omicron, which will keep vaccinated guests' breakthrough numbers down during and post-cruise. I agree. When the numbers go high, when there's some challenges, you stack those protocols, and I believe that NCL, Royal, everybody else that's doing it, smart to do it. Thank you for the super chat. Super chat. Super chatty. Super chatty. Yo. Jenny, when we go to Tampa tonight, should we go to the casino? You're naughty. I know you want to go to the casino. There's no craps table there. Can't go. Sorry. Thanks, Texas girl. Have a good night. It's safe to say that if the Joy had Aqua Theater, then NCL would have been your favorite cruise line. Close. I really enjoyed the layout of the Oasis because it was straight through. Like, it was easy peasy lemon squeezy to deal with the Oasis. Aqua Theater and the ice skating rink, they would have been pretty equal. But I tell you what, the local is probably my favorite included food out. You could be right. I don't know. Question, do the cruise lines allow cloth masks or only surgical N95s? No, Karen, you just got to go to the website. I believe they're not like gaiters. You can't wear gaiters. I think it has to be a multi-layer mask. I can't remember exactly what it is. But cloth masks work along with surgical masks and N95. So I think the big prohibitions against gaiters. David DeFalco, with this uncertainty, is it important to make the decision to cancel before I make the final payment? If you want to hold on to your money, I would say yes. Now, here's the challenge. They may not cancel your cruise before final payment. They may not allow you to cancel your cruise before final payment. And so you're running the risk of maybe losing out on your deposit to hold on to the bigger chunk of the money. They're still a business. They're still trying to protect their deposits. And but like Royal's got the cruise with confidence thing where you can, up to 48 hours, you can cancel in advance. So you just got to go with whatever cruise line you're going with. Understand the rules well before you make a decision, because sometimes you'll make a decision to cancel, you lose your deposit, and they'll cancel the thing the next day. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I could have got some sort of benefit. So it's a tough game to play, but you got to be careful. But again, if you don't feel comfortable, you gotta get out of the game.
No Tampa tonight.
No Tampa tonight. He's not going?
He had change of plans.
All right. Well, I guess we're not going to Tampa tonight. Do I need to rent a car, Jenny, for my weekend adventures? We're living real life here. All right. Who is the dice champion between you and James? Between Tony and James. Who's James? I don't know. That's right. I'm a cowboy. Question, Royal implemented mask policy through January the 5th. What are your thoughts on that date, and do you think it will be extended? I don't know. I don't know why they chose that date, and I don't know what's going to happen. Like, it'd be too hard to speculate on that. Sometimes I wish they would just like, hey, could I get the meeting minutes of all your... It'd be nice if I had some more insider knowledge, or if I could sit in a room and understand why they do things, but I'm on the outside like you guys, just calling it as I see it. Chuck Spencer, thank you so much for the super chat. Jenny B said that things have changed tonight. No trip to town. That's cool. We'll be chilling like a villain. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, we live here in Spring Hill, Florida. D and W love to cruise, so we're here on the Nature Coast. 45 minutes from Tampa. I don't know where anything else in Florida is. I just know between here and Tampa, there's Tarpon Springs and St. Pete's close and Clearwater. That's the only thing I know. Everything else, like when you say Ocala, I'm like, I don't know where that's at. But I know it's in Florida. Ooh, Sunstoker, any discount for teachers? Somebody had it. My June cruise would be some friends who are teachers rethinking the celebrity cruise option. Jenny B, is anybody still doing teachers? I can't remember who it was. I feel like MSC was doing teachers, but it might have been a minute. Let's see. Karen Hill, thank you so much for the super chat. Want to get in one more super chat? Oh, very kind. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it. Karen's always pushing the community forward in the comments. I see so many names here that are regular commenters. Big thanks, guys. You know, I'm biased, but I think we got one of the best commenting communities on YouTube, and we got a great community over on Facebook, and I love it. Thank you guys for being awesome.
Super chat.
The question, the mask thing's less than a month. No, I mean, you know, here's the thing. Like, people don't want things to change. And I'm not saying this about you, Pia, but we're dealing with something that's changing rapidly. I mean, you know, and here's the thing. Like, and I've said this a couple times. If you're still thinking about COVID the way that you thought about COVID in March of 2020, you're so far behind the game that nothing that you say is logical. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but if somebody's giving me a March 2020 COVID argument, then you've not done anything to account for the way things have changed over whatever time period that is, almost 2 years later. That would be like when the car was invented, if you were still trying to tell me that 2 years before when there was no car, that it was just horses. If you're still telling me like, look, if we don't switch over to brass horseshoes, we're going to be in trouble. It's like the car is here now. You got to deal with the car that's here now. I'm a cowboy. And that's where we're at with COVID. Yeah, it's still called COVID. It's still called coronavirus, but it's a whole different thing than it was in 2020. And so, yeah, if I was a business, I would be making a lot of short-term decisions and then seeing what happens. Because nobody likes the mask, right? The big selling point is being able to go into a vaccinated area and taking off your mask. You know, I don't think anybody is naive about that. You know, if they say the mask, you got to wear the mask, I'm all for wearing the mask. But if they say don't wear the mask, I'm also for that also. And a lot of people are for that also. And so why would you say I'm going to have a mask policy for 6 months? You might get people to not book your cruise at that point. So to me, it makes sense to go 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, because things change like that, you know, and reassess as times go on. Again, nothing at you, Pia, but it's more of a, I see this mentality sometimes in the conversation that is not changing along with the times. That you know, this thing is rapidly changing, and you got to change along with the times. And it doesn't make you wishy-washy. It doesn't make, but again, it's like if all of a sudden we saw the advent of the car, and 2 years later we're still going, well, my thoroughbred is better than, you know. See what I'm saying? All right. Question? Any question? What has changed? Right. Omicron, so to your point, David, Omicron's a whole new animal. If you go to the websites of the places that are tracking it, the WHO, the CDC, they say that the studies are still too early to know exactly what's going on. You can read all around the world, all this speculation. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. But the people that are making the decisions are still doing information gathering. And so you can't take the first thing and say that that is the change. And so there's a nuance to it. If, you know, we'll know when we know, so you got to be ready for the change, but you can't just change for the sake of change at the same time. So that's why when we heard about Omicron 2 weeks ago, you didn't see these mask policies, because there's been 2 weeks of study, 2 weeks of learning about Omicron, and the first thing that the cruise lines have decided to do to combat that is to mask up. So, I mean, there's a lot going on there. Big and Schnuggles, yeah, go with the flow. Cruising is for cruisers. Live your life to the fullest. It's so short. Yeah, I don't know who's not living their life to the fullest, but also it would be irresponsible to not live your life in the context that your life is in. And so if all of a sudden, if your field is on fire and then in a week it's going to burn your house down, if you go, well, look, man, I'm just going to live it out till it burns my house down, or or you're going to do something about it. So I completely agree. Look, you know, I have a belief, I have a faith, and to me, everything works out in the end. So I feel pretty good about that. I'm living my life to the fullest, but the reality is you have to live your life in the context which your life is in. And right now, we're all in this big poop pile of trying to deal with COVID that's changing rapidly. So I'm not trying to get preachy. I'm not trying to get on the soapbox, but you know, it's so crazy out there because, you know, you got people that are like, well, none of it matters. And then you got people that every one of it matters. But the reality is we're just all trying to live life. And, you know, for some of us, living life to the fullest means, you know, protecting our grandparents or doing what we think to protect our neighbor. And so that may be different for somebody else who's living life to the fullest means running naked through the field. So you got to have some situational awareness for the people that you're doing life with. And we're doing life together here virtually, but that's different than doing life with the people in my house. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you, DHicks3406 for the super chat. On my way back to Florida, delivering in Tampa on Tuesday. It's Friday Night Philosophy with Tony Barnett. Tropical Tom Garcia, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Tropical Tom, for all of your interaction in the community. Appreciate it.
Super chat.
So delicious. Delicious. All right. Have we got any likes? I haven't even been tracking the likes. Let's see what we're doing. Can somebody tell me how many people, how many likes? Have we got 200 likes yet? That's what I'm saying. 10 more minutes and I'm getting out of here. I got to figure out what's going on now. There's too much uncertainty in my house. Why is Greg not going to the airport? Do I have a car on Sunday? I got plans to make. What's going on? Nick, the news update is Royal is requiring masks in places they didn't before, primarily in vaccinated areas, casino, theater. Before, if you were vaccinated, you could go in those areas and demask. Now, you cannot. That's the big update from Royal Caribbean. Cindy, thank you so much for the super chat. This is the best community online. You and Jenny are the best. You keep us informed. Look, we trying, and we couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you guys so much. Ooh, now you guys got me tempted. I want 1,000 likes, 880. Do we have 1,000 people? Can we get to 1,000 likes? Wouldn't you all be proud of yourselves tonight? I don't know if you would or not. Look, it's hot under this light. I'm gonna go one button undone. Look, you never seen that. Woo, it's the coffee. Why am I drinking hot coffee? We just got a Keurig instead, you know, so that we could do a single cup. And now we've been drinking single cup hot coffee and it's making me hot. Only 612 watching. Well, we lost some. I don't know if we can get to 1,000. Techie Travel Guy. Yeah, just coffee. Just a little Starbucks breakfast blend and some International Delight French vanilla. How about that? Let's see. Wu-Tang Life. Hate the door slammers and the people talking during the show. Yeah, look, I tell you what. It's hard not to be a door slammer. Like, it seems like every cruise in the beginning I'm a door slammer, and then I have the realization like, oh, that door is closing heavy. And I feel like that's how most people go. Like, oh, okay, like, you know, if you haven't been on a cruise in a while, it takes the door slamming a couple times to go, oh man, the door's gonna close heavy. But man, on my last cruise on NCL, nobody ever had that epiphany. Like, it just closed heavy every time. And I just wanted to say, you don't hear that? Jack Hans, what's up, the Jackster? Thank you so much for the super chat. Enjoy your holidays. Oh, yeah, man, it's going to be great. We got a great week coming up. Our oldest daughter turns 30. 2 of our sons are going to be here. My brother, my sister-in-law. We're looking forward to a good time.
Super chat.
9:33. We can do it. We can do it. Billy J Travels, no Diet Mountain Dew, man. I used to be very hardcore Diet Mountain Dew drinker, and then I had some trouble with my gallbladder, and I almost died. And I don't attribute it to the Diet Mountain Dew, but shortly after I had that trouble in the hospital, every time I would drink Diet Mountain Dew, it would make me feel like I was dying again. So very occasionally, I'll have a Diet Mountain Dew, but it always scares me. Any info on Cabo? We talked about it a little bit, Tanya. We talked about it a little bit, Tanya, that protocols changed there. Cruise lines working with the ports that they're visiting. I'm sure they're reporting their COVID numbers before they arrive at port. And yesterday, Cabo just said, okay, well, you got some COVID on board. We'd like everybody tested who plans to get off board. They didn't have enough time for that, and they weren't allowed to go off board. I believe the people were given a $50 onboard credit for missing that port, and they got their port fees back. I think that's the Cabo update. I will not be doing a full family live chat. No, that's not what we'll be doing. We'll be playing games, trying to crush people at Uno, some Ticket to Ride, maybe playing some video games, having some fun, sitting out on the porch, enjoying the company. Let's see. Yeah, Billy, I love Diet Mountain Dew. The Diet Mountain Dew was the thing that got me off of regular Coke. So look, I'm a heavy guy now. I'll tell you guys the story. In 2008, we made a commitment to lose weight. We joined Weight Watchers. We both lost 80 pounds each in like 6 months. We looked very svelte. I think I got down to 250. I don't know the last time I got down to 250, but I was drinking like a 2 liter of Coke every day before that point, like regular Coke Classic. And I couldn't stand Diet Coke. The taste of Diet Coke was so far away from regular Coke, I could never get adjusted to it. My brother's like, yeah, man, you'll get adjusted to it after a while. I never could. And so Diet Mountain Dew was my savior during that weight loss time because it was such a new drink. I'd never been a Mountain Dew drinker. I was able to start drinking that. I just think I drank too much of it. Like I really pounded it and turned out to be bad. Question, I've only cruised Carnival in the past, going to cruise Royal Caribbean out of California soon. What does Royal Caribbean do better than Carnival for a 7-day cruise? Better than Carnival, I think they're going to do entertainment better as far as like the shows, that kind of thing. You're going to have a less involved cruise director. So if when you're on Carnival, if you really liked how hype man the cruise director is, you're going to be disappointed. I don't know. It's just a different flavor. To me, I like both of them, so it depends. Like, I think you'll have a great time. What do you want them to do better? Like, what? Like, why are you going on it? Like, do you want a better entertainment experience? Do you want a better food experience? Do you want a better cabin? Yeah, you know, I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. Any tips on how to upgrade the Mardi Gras? I do not know how to upgrade the Mardi Gras. Tech Travel Guy, I've been drinking some of that Coke Zero Sugar. Is that the one you're drinking, the new red branded stuff? That's been pretty good. Did you buy Jenny a cruise for Christmas? No, that would be rude, right? Like, you cannot buy your wife something that you do for business, right? So, like, Apple's got the new MacBook out. I really want the new MacBook. And Jenny was like, I'm going to get that for you for Christmas. I'm like, you can't get it for me for Christmas because it's a business thing. Cruising's kind of like that. So I got to find something non-cruising to get Jenny for Christmas. So I'm going to buy her a vacuum cleaner. Would that work, fellas? I'm just kidding. I would never buy Jenny a vacuum cleaner as a legit gift. Robert White, precursor to additional rules. Look, they're going to stack the protocols as much as they can to stay open. So to me, I'll take as many of the new rules as possible as long as they don't shut it down. You know, I don't know that we'll ever get to cruises to nowhere in the U.S. I think we'll still be trying to go to ports, but you know, I've cruised with a mask. I mean, it's not a big deal. Again, people that are bummed out about cruising with the mask, this is my opinion, I feel like they're predisposed to die on that hill. I didn't wear a mask. I'm never going to wear a mask. I can't have a vacation that way. And no matter how many times me or hundreds of other people say, hey, we cruised with a mask and it wasn't that bad, you're never going to convince those people. So I think it's just going to be one of the die on the hill issues. If you're somebody who's going to die on the mask hill, you're never going to like it. Don't go cruising, okay? Just wait till it's all over. Don't go on a cruise hating wearing a mask and not wear your mask and seeing if you can get away with it. I feel like that's wrong. But it sucks that you got to wait it out. But I feel like that's the thing. It's going to be a time where I think only some people are going to want to cruise if the protocols get more restrictive. But yeah, we got to do what we got to do to keep cruising open. Look, I own cruise stock, that kind of thing. I don't work for any of the cruise companies, but I'm not willing to set the cruise industry on fire, right? I've seen some of those comments like, I don't like the mask protocol, so I hope everybody goes bankrupt. It seems so stupid to me because there's all these people that are employed by the cruise industry. We all enjoy cruising. I don't understand the mentality that until it's good for me, then it should suck for everybody else. That's not me. So I'm going to continue to do what I can to support the industry, hopefully get through this crazy time that we're all going through, and then it'll be back at some point. I mean, pandemics, they're a pain in the butt. Like, you know, 2 years is not that long a time to be dealing with something like this if you look at things historically, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it. That's what I think. Ursi's Mercy's Whirl. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Is there a Loca group cruise in the future? I want to go. Yeah. You can go to lalidoloca.com/group cruise, and it'll show you all the ones that we have coming up, except for 2. I've got to update the website for the Prima and the Celebration, but you can see like our most, the closest one coming up is in February on the Sky Princess. So go check out that website. Thanks so much for the super chat.
Super chat.
Ooh, we're going to hit 1,000 likes. Let me put the logo back up for that. How about that? Yeah, man, I tell you what, Tom says that the vacuum cleaners are expensive. They are expensive, but still, expense doesn't mean it should be a gift. That's what I think. You can't buy your wife a vacuum cleaner as a gift. Even if she says she wants a vacuum cleaner as a gift, that's not what she wants. Any inkling on cruise lines requiring boosters? I talked about this earlier. I probably will say it in a different way, but I believe the further that we get away from the initial mass vaccination, I think boosters will become part of the conversation of what being fully vaccinated means. And so, you know, if a lot of us got vaccinated, and I think I got vaccinated in April to start off with, so that the vaccine for me waning starting like at the 6-month, 8-month area. So the vaccine's waning for me. So I definitely needed a booster for me personally to feel, you know, like that I was boosted up. I got my booster. The cruise lines aren't requiring that right now, except for AIDA for people that are going into France. But yeah, it makes sense. Like if the science is correct, right? I know everybody likes to debate that, but if everything that we read from the health professionals that say that the vaccine's waning and that you need booster to keep the immune response up, then I think that the definition of fully vaccinated at some point will include a booster shot. And then if that becomes the case, then the cruise lines will include that in their language before people get on. That's my prediction, just my opinion. What about if you're outside on Royal Caribbean, do you have to wear a mask? I didn't see anything about outside. I'm sure it's still going to be the same thing. Like if you can't, the big rule of thumb outside is if you can't social distance, you know. Solarium, if that's considered inside, I bet you would have to wear a mask. Oh, we hit 1,000. How about that? When is our, I don't know when the Prima group cruise is. Jenny, when's the Prima group? I don't know when the Prima or the Celebration is. Yeah, AIDA requiring boosters for people that are going to go into France. That's it so far. All right, 6:30. Are we done? Have we done it all? Have we said it all? All right, guys, I think I'm going to get off here, see what's going on at my house because my plans have changed. Thank you guys for coming to the Impromptu Cruise News Live. I hope you enjoyed it. I love answering cruise news questions. I love talking about cruise news. I love hanging out with you guys. So I so much appreciate it. Thank you for all the likes. Thanks for all the super chat. Thanks for all the love. Man, I'm really getting amped up on the caffeine now. Jenny's going to have to listen to me talk this fast for the next 2 hours. Thanks so much for stopping by. My name's Tony, and until the next time, there it is, March the 5th, 2023 Prima. Until the next time, we'll see you. Oh, let me get the outro ready. We'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Don, come visit tomorrow night on Don's live stream. I'll be there. Bye.